Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm a faithful follower of Christ. The rest is details. But here's some details. This is CarniVLOG number 14. How I've been feeling. Exhaustion is not hunger. A Carbmare that I had. And Keto Mojo. So before we jump right into those 4 things, I just left a horse auction. It's annual, I suppose. It's mostly Amish and Mennonite coming there to buy buggy broke horses. I'm friends with lots of people in the Amish and Mennonite community, and I just ran into 2 friends of mine there. Some girls that used to help me out before they were married with babies of their own. And they were telling me that they have one buggy broke horse, but in this kind of heat, they cannot expect that horse to go 10 or 12 miles a day. So they really need to get another one so they can alternate these horses. And I'm just thinking, wow, what a different lifestyle to only travel 10 or 12 miles a couple times a week. So interesting. So super interesting and so much fun to go to the auction, see all the ponies for sale. My girls would love some ponies, but we talked about the timing matters because a pony would be super fun, but not unless it was the right time and they were the right age and we were set up around here. We have everything set up for cattle, nothing set up for ponies. And I was explaining to the girls, I said, let's think of it like this. Think of it like an ice cream cone. I said, you'd like an ice cream cone, right? And they said, yeah. I said, but would you like one while you were in the shower and your hands were in your hair and you had suds and soap everywhere? And I said, here's your ice cream, eat it. It might be stressful. Or what if I woke you up in the middle of the night? Wake up, wake up. What? Why are you waking me up? I said, here's an ice cream cone. Even something really great could be really stressful if it's not the right time. So my girls totally understand that, and they really would love a horse, Clara especially, but not right now, not right this moment. Greg said, do not get a buyer number. He was wanting to make sure I did not come home with a pony or 2. There were miniature horses there, smaller than my poodles, full grown. Have you ever looked up miniature horse? A baby miniature horse? It literally looks like a toy. While I was there, I enjoyed my cayenne pepper, lemon, salt water. I don't know. I'm experimenting, and what I'm doing is keeping my brain lit up with new things. So I'm pretty tired today. Yesterday we swam in a creek with some Amish friends of ours, and I fell asleep at 8 o'clock. And got up early and went to that horse auction. Which leads me to number 1, how am I feeling? 2 things come to mind, and one came to mind yesterday when I was neck deep. That was my goal. I kept telling, it was 2 adults and 9 children swimming in a gorgeous, picturesque, running water creek. One of the little boys works here actually on the house. I'm in my yard right now. He was at my house Thursday, and I said, hey, you all have a bunch of ponies. I've actually been over there before thinking about buying one of their ponies from them. But I said, can we come over sometime and feed all your ponies a bunch of carrots? Because as of April 1st, Greg and I have been eating animal products, and I had 2 big bags of baby carrots. And his response was, sure. And then he said, do y'all like planting creeks? And I said, do we like planting creeks? Yes, we do. So we went over there, absolutely beautiful, probably 30 feet wide, running water. It's fed from a spring. It was very chilly. And I knew that I would be filled with regret if I went home dry. So in my shirt, in my sweatpants, I swam. And while I was swimming, I was thinking, the only word that comes to mind that feels like it adequately describes how I feel is invigorated. Even more than excited. Excited is sort of fleeting. But I have this sense of internal, deep excitement. That's sort of like the difference people describe, the difference between joy and happiness. It's really not dependent on my external circumstances. It's produced from my internal circumstances. I feel invigorated. I feel very optimistic, and just sort of a general sense of life is so good. And I am positive that that is not just mental and emotional, that's physical. I feel good. I can sense the positive effects that cutting out the poison and upping the nutrition, I can sense that. I was talking to Charlie last night. We have 4 bottles of Crown Royal whiskey in our house right now. A guy gave it to Greg and he's supposed to give it to someone else. And Charlie was looking at that, and I asked Greg the other day if I could pour it down the drain. We're supposed to give it to somebody at Christmas. I don't know, it's not ours. Greg is the middleman to get this whiskey to someone. And I was explaining to Charlie last night that the reason people feel relaxed when they drink alcohol is because their brain is being deprived of oxygen. And no wonder it's addictive, because it's like sugar on steroids. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. It's no wonder that people get trapped in the loop of alcoholism when it's fermented sugar and it's depriving our brains of oxygen. I told Charlie, I said, to me, these glass bottles of whiskey look like 4 bottles of gasoline. It's poison. It's absolute poison. Our bodies are designed to process poison. They can. It's amazing what all our bodies can do and how much our bodies can handle what all we do to them. But this has really been a journey, like my mom said the other day, of choosing to ingest virtually no poison. And I'm reaping the benefits of that. I feel good. When my kids want to go swimming in a creek, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I can count on having energy. And I feel strong. I feel invigorated and strong. And over the course of these past few years, God allowed me to experience thin and skinny and frail. And I did not feel strong. I felt weak and exhausted. I didn't like how I felt or how I looked. So that's number 1. I feel invigorated and strong. Understanding that exhaustion is not hunger. This is so interesting for me. I am absolutely learning, and it reminds me of when I hear people have to relearn to walk. Okay, that sounds really simple. It's like, how would you have to relearn to walk? Your brain has to relearn all of the nearly infinite mechanisms that take place for a friend of mine is a physical therapist, for the muscles to contract, for the muscles to what's it called? I think I'm just thinking of flexing versus extending. Our our brains have to relearn these things. It's not just our minds. It's not just like, I know how to walk, take one step and then another. Our bodies have to relearn all those physical motions that you watch a child, you watch a baby take months to master. My brain is having to relearn what hunger literally is. And I'm realizing that I'm learning it in retrospect. So, for instance, if I have a bad feeling or I'm feeling bad and I think this is hunger and I eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs, liver, or sardines. Okay, I eat a steak, right? I eat a pound of ground beef. I eat, and then that bad feeling's gone. In retrospect, I know that that feeling was hunger. This might sound extreme, but I am literally in the process, and it's fascinating to have any type of objectivity with my own behavior with regards to all of this. But I'm literally in the process of learning what hunger is and what it feels like. So if I have a bad feeling or I feel bad and I think it's hunger and I eat a steak and then I feel better, in retrospect, that was hunger. What happened to me last night was one of countless times where, yes, I might have been a little hungry, but my brain has such an immense and intense and solidified and it is such a profound association with exhaustion and eating that my brain is still, now I'm getting there. I'm a little bit like a toddler that's been walking, but I still find myself falling down every once in a while because I'm still learning that exhaustion is not hunger. For you, it might be something different. It might be loneliness. It might be frustration. It might be anger. You might have so many times over the years eaten when you felt fill in the blank, that your brain has created such a strong association with that emotion that it misinterprets that emotion as hunger. I took my 3 kids to swim in a creek. We could not have had more fun. We all swam in a creek with a whole bunch of kids. My heart was racing when I had to get myself up out of that creek and climb a bluff before we swam in the ford. These are new words to me. I'm learning all sorts of stuff. I climbed the side of a rock wall and I'm terrified of heights. Heights bother me. It makes me dizzy. I feel like I'm falling. It doesn't work well with my brain. Literally nosebleed seats, I cling to the rail. We've been to hockey games before and I'm clinging to the rail because if I let go, I feel like I'm going to fall because my brain cannot make sense of what it's seeing. It's like some type of depth perception issue. And I've learned that over the years. It's not a fear I care to face. It's an issue with my brain getting very, very dizzy when I'm standing on the side of a cliff. These little kids, the boy that works at my house and his little sister, got my girls up the side of the cliff. I'm so glad I did not see that happen or I would have nightmares. I thought we were gonna go back up. I thought we were gonna climb back up the way we came down. No, we kind of like scaled the side of a little, now look, it wasn't far enough for me to, if I fell, I don't believe I would have died, but I do think I would have broken something. And a broken bone at this point in my life would really slow things down. My heart was racing. We swam, we had fun in the ford. I was looking for leeches. I was like, this sort of reminds me of Stand By Me. No leeches. Good. Then we rode ponies and caught chickens and fun times. I got home, went to the dollar store. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute. A conversation I had with a friend of mine about a sugar craving I had. I went to the dollar store in my soaking wet clothing to get a couple things with the girls. I got home and I was so tired. Yes, I was hungry. All I had all day long was half a pound of beef and a bunch of eggs. But I was way more exhausted than I was hungry. So I started eating. I felt bad. I had a bad feeling, right? But the more I ate a hot dog. I ate some bacon. I ate some egg pop soup. And that bad feeling was not going away. It used to when I ate sugar and flour because I'd get happy and high. But now that I don't get high on sugar and flour, eating and eating and eating, if it doesn't solve the problem, then in retrospect, I know the problem was not hunger. So at 8 p.m., I told Greg, I said, I keep eating and I still don't feel better. And Greg, my dear Greg, often says, you probably just need to go to bed. So I did at 8 p.m. And that solved the problem. So I am literally relearning that for me, exhaustion is not hunger. And now that I've eliminated poison from my diet, I can read my body's cues. I can communicate with my body and count on a new sensitivity that I didn't have when I was muffling it all with sugar and flour. Like Kelly Hogan, I would recommend to anybody listening that wants to do anything like this, number one, get off the poison, especially if you're addicted to it. Like I said earlier, our bodies are designed to filter some poison, but let's don't take advantage of that and stuff them full of poison and expect them to function well. Our bodies can really only handle so much, and so many of us push these bodies we're in to such an extreme. My Carbmare, and I have Steak and Butter Gal, Bella, to thank for that. She coined that term, I believe. It's a nightmare where you've ingested carbs. Greg and I have completed 61 days of only animal products. I have not consumed any sugar, and I mean any sugar, since Easter. That was 61 days ago. Not a grape, not a banana, and not a Starburst, which is what I dreamt that I ate. I dreamt that I opened up wrappers just without thinking about it and ate one. And when I had the second one in my mouth, I realized what I'd done and started to spit it out, but I realized I'd already swallowed the other one, so I wasn't gonna be able to rip off my days left calendar. I had lost my streak. I was very disappointed, and I'm sure that I dreamt that because of the sugar craving I had, the fleeting sugar craving I had at the Dollar General store last night when I was in soaking wet, stinking creek clothes and letting my girls get ice cream bars out of their ice cream cooler. Carbmares are real. Mom, you've told me many times when you quit smoking cigarettes, you would have dreams that you smoked again. It's a relief to wake up from those and rip the day off my calendar and celebrate waking up sober again. Okay, all right. We have talked about how I feel invigorated and strong. We have talked about me learning that exhaustion is literally not hunger. And we've talked about my Carbmare. I haven't had one of those in a long, long time. The final thing to talk about is Keto Mojo. Keto Mojo is a keto testing kit that I'm going to treat myself to right away. I naively thought that if I quit eating carbohydrates, I'd be in ketosis. That's not exactly how it works. My friend, I won't name names for privacy, especially since I'm going to show you our texting, but a friend of mine helped me to understand that, and she said she listens to Thomas DeLauer. Thomas DeLauer is why I drank water mixed with lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and some salt this morning. I forgot to show you that. I'll show you that here. Here's me at the horse auction this morning drinking water that I added lemon, cayenne pepper, and salt to. I'll tell you why here in a second. Okay, the reason I did that is because I listened to a 1-minute video by Thomas DeLauer. I will link it below, where he says this is he makes it very clear. He's like, this is just my sample of his fasting routine. He wakes up, has some apple cider vinegar with cayenne pepper and salt in it. I didn't have any apple cider vinegar, but he also talks about the benefits of lemon water. The obvious pros of lemon water is too much acidity on our teeth. It's probably not something I'd want to do a lot of every day. I don't know, but I am motivated to be in ketosis, which means to be in a mode of burning fat, not glucose, which again, I thought I would just naturally be in if I quit eating carbohydrates. That's not the case. And now I will share with you some texting from yesterday. Number one, I want you to notice that I reached out when I was tempted to eat that ice cream. But who wouldn't be tempted to cope with ice cream when they had just been swimming with 9 kids in a creek and they were still in wet, stinking creek clothes in the Dollar General store? I'm so glad I did not turn to an unhealthy coping mechanism, but instead I took care of myself. Let's pamper ourselves, not punish ourselves. Okay, here's me reaching out last night and this morning, and these text messages have proven to be trajectory changing for me. I'm excited. So I said last night, reaching out, yikes, I just took a bunch of kids swimming in a gorgeous creek, like something you'd see in the movies. 2 adults, 9 kids. It was fun, and I swam. Everyone was Amish except for me and my kids. Such a neat experience. Then I took my girls to the Dollar General store. We got some staples, milk, bread, toys, etc. Then I let each of them get an ice cream from that ice cream cooler. Ice cream Snickers, chocolate-covered ice cream bars, and more. Ugh, I wanted some. I even had the start of a thought that I didn't even let myself finish of, I could. No, brain, no, I'm still in my wet clothes that I swam in, sitting here in the parking lot texting y'all. My plan, I'll go home, drink a bottle of water, take a hot shower, then eat a BBBES compliant meal, and tomorrow I'll be so glad to wake up sober. And I did exactly that. I drank a bottle of water, took a hot shower, ate some meat, and I woke up so happy and sober this morning. My friend said, wow, that sounded like a really awesome day. I went on to say, it was awesome. Now I'm whooped in the best possible way, and no wonder my brain is telling me to eat sugar. That's what I did for decades, run out of energy and then stuff myself with sugar like a cocaine addict, forcing themselves to stay awake and go for many more hours. Thanks for being there for me, ladies. That's exactly what this is. My brain begging me for an upper Now, no, I am going to, well, let's move on. She said, a good amount of fat will take care of that craving. When I get those kinds of thoughts, I take out some beef fat and cook it in my air fryer. It does the trick every time. It's my quick fix. I said, sounds good. Thank you. I think I'll get some beef fat from the butcher. Is that how you ask? Is that how I ask for it? Do you keep it frozen? She said, this was the last batch I got, so I cut it up and put it in baggies and froze it. I put about 2 ounces in each bag. Look at that beef fat. I'm going to go get me some. I really have not mastered this voiceover thing. I got to get the timing right. All right. She says, yes, it looks gross, but it is so good. I said, I'm a little scared. I was loving beef fat until we had a bad batch around here. I'd be eating a steak and the steak would be fine, but the fat was horrible. I had to keep spitting it out quickly. Something wasn't right. I'll give the butcher fat a try. Anything to keep me from relaxing into sugar. Oh my. She said it works. Plus it ups your fats so your proteins aren't higher. Helps to keep you in ketosis. I said, oh, you are so good at this. I've learned so much from this gal. She said, I'm just trying to tweak fats and proteins, trial and error. I do love testing my glucose and ketone levels. Such a good challenge for me. So cool. I said, can you explain just a little bit of the importance of making sure we are achieving ketosis? What is the downside if we're not? Should I get a ketone reader? And her response was, drum roll please, once you are in ketosis, you are running off fat, not glucose. This is what puts you into the fat burning mode. Testing is important to see what your body is running off, ketones or glucose. We never run completely off ketones, normally about 70% and 30% glucose if we are in ketosis. You want your body to run off fat. This is why you have to up your fats to balance your insulin from eating proteins. To me, it's worth testing your blood glucose and ketones. I hope this helped a little. It did. It helped a lot. All right, come on. Let's go. Let's get to the next slide. I gave myself too much time on this one. It has helped. I guess I have been naively thinking that when we're eating this way, we're automatically running off ketones because we're not consuming carbohydrates, sugars, or glucose. How does my body run on glucose when I'm not consuming any? Is it from the protein? Her response was, because your liver and kidneys still produce glucose from the proteins, which is good. So she's saying, yes, you still produce glucose from the proteins. Your liver and kidneys produce those, which is good because our bodies need some glucose to operate. But we want our fat intake to be higher than the protein intake. It's a science. Fun fact, when you're born, you were running off ketones, not glucose. Listen to Thomas DeLauer on YouTube. He is amazing. Also, do you mind sharing which ketone monitor you use? I might treat myself to one. I might treat myself to one! Exclamation mark. Here it is. This is the one that I found on Amazon. Keto Mojo for $49.99. Lots of good views. Lots of good reviews. Okay. I said, I have listened to Thomas DeLauer before, but it's been years. Is this it? Is that a good price? Do I have to prick myself? Haha. And she said, yes, that was it. Keto Mojo, $49.95. She said, yes, that's a good price. And yes, you have to prick yourself. If you prick yourself on the side of your fingertip, it's not so bad. And I said, I'll do it. Thanks. I could go back and edit this, but I would rather. So there you have it. There you have it. I'm going to treat myself to a Keto Mojo keto meter, and have fun. I'm going to have fun with tweaking this. Was my lemon cayenne salt water perfect? Actually, yeah, it was. It was the perfect thing for me to drink this morning. The lemon water, the cayenne pepper, the cinnamon water that you're going to hear if you listen to this 1-minute video by Thomas DeLauer linked below. all of these are things that can lower our glucose and promote ketosis, where we're burning fat for fuel. And that's one of my current goals. But like I said in the beginning, my number one goal in life, literally, is to be obedient to Jesus Christ. And when I do what he tells me to do, exactly the way he tells me to do it, I am amazed at how good my life is. I don't mean perfect, and I don't mean without struggles. The struggles are very important. James 1:2, count it all as joy. I mean rich. I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had that were the valley of the shadow of death type experiences. It's amazing to walk alongside Jesus Christ and have him walk us through fire. To come out on the other side is indescribably wonderful. So my number one goal is to literally follow Jesus Christ. I have a sermon on this. I have videos on this. How to follow Jesus Christ. It's by following the Holy Spirit who dwells within us when we accept Jesus Christ. Romans 10, 9 through 10. If we confess with our mouth that we believe in Jesus Christ, that he's our Lord and Savior, we'll be saved. Romans 6:23, for the wages of sin is death. But the gift of God, the free gift of God, is eternal life with Jesus Christ. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. This is the Roman road. I have videos, I'll link them below, on how to follow Jesus. And something else, I can't think of it. I'll link it below. Those are that is my spiritual goal. Every good and perfect gift is from above. Greg is the most good and perfect gift God has ever given me. And from that gift came these 5 little kids that call me Mama. It's when I follow Jesus that I can experience the goodness he has for me. My Jeremiah 29:11, my Habakkuk 1:5. But like I said in the beginning, the rest is details. And some of those details are burning fat instead of glucose. That is a goal of mine. Sugar and flour used to light my brain up. This is lighting my brain up now. It's fun. And I have friends doing this with me. And we just continue to educate ourselves on all of this. And what it does is keeps me interested. It is the dangling steak in front of me. It just keeps me moving forward. And that's what matters. That we keep moving and we keep moving forward. Those two things. Towards Jesus. I love you dearly. We'll talk again soon. Bye.